Birds are important. Without birds, we couldn't go bird watching, we couldn't harvest them for hunting, and we couldn't use them as a research tool. Birds are a really good animal to study because slight changes in bird populations are some of the first indicators of environmental change. Mainly due to habitat loss, there's been a 70% decline in the migratory birds across the US since the 1970s, with grassland birds taking the biggest hit. Of the 338 bird migrants across the US, 98.5% have been documented in Texas. And that demonstrates the significant role that Texas plays in this process. The fact that 80 to 90% of Texas land is privately owned and managed could be a barrier to conservation. But let me tell you about an organization that's helping to bridge this gap. The East Foundation was established from the estate of Robert East as an agricultural research organization. Their mission is to support wildlife conservation and other public benefits of ranching and private land stewardship through research, education, and outreach. Their working laboratory consists of 218,000 acres of native rangeland across South Texas, and my project takes place on their biggest ranch, the San Antonio Viejo Ranch. The goal of this study is to see which cattle grazing regimes coexist best with the grassland birds. Now, why should ranchers care about supporting birds, you may ask? Because biodiversity is not only good for the birds, but it can be great for cattle too. And what's good for cattle is good for business. Some ranchers even consider ecosystem biodiversity to be a form of insurance. Having a wider range of life across the ranch makes it more resilient to things like drought and disease. I'll be determining the effects of cattle grazing regime on the grassland birds by performing an impact assessment. Now, this is really just a fancy way of saying that I'm going to be comparing the bird richness and abundance across 3 different settings: before, during, and after the grazing treatments. Currently, I'm crunching the numbers to see which cattle stocking rates, mixed with either continuous or rotational grazing, have which effects on the birds. This research will provide ranchers with the information that they need to make sound decisions on which grazing regimes they can choose to benefit their livestock and the grassland birds simultaneously. Although traditionally thought to be opposing forces, wildlife conservation and ranching poetically coexist in the eyes of the East family. And their legacy and vision are carried on today through our research, and hopefully will be a model for others to follow, in an effort to make the world a better place for people, cattle, and grassland birds. Thank you.